He's kind of like Sawyer after a hard night on the weekend.
Oh, I didn't see you there. I was just really busy working.
Day 2 of planting is officially started. So far, so good. Couldn't ask for better conditions weather-wise. So I think we're gonna get all this done pretty quickly. We'll be done with corn today. He's about halfway done with the corn acres, and then we'll be switching over to beans.
We're gonna finish up with Old Faithful. We got 1197. Might be the last hurrah for it. I don't know. We'll have to see how good it does this year, but had a good run.
That close to the other.
So that was the last fill up for corn this year. That will get David all the way to the end on our corn acres, and tomorrow we'll switch over to beans.
Oh, I didn't see you there. I was just really busy working hard. Got a lot going on here, things to do. Really busy. Don't call. So field 2 here, corn on beans, which I like a lot better than planting corn on corn. My monitor system says it's doing a lot better. So far, I've done 199 acres here for Tork and Sawyer.
We're up here at my site, and we are going to pull some fallbacks out of the general population and put them in a fallback pig pen. We did this over at Dad's site 1 a couple weeks ago, and we're going to do pretty much the same thing up here. Overstocks went out about a week ago or so. Now it's just time to get the fallback pigs that aren't keeping up with the general population as far as size and how much they're eating, and pull them out and put them in a pen with pigs that are more around the same size as them. And it's good for a lot of reasons. One, you know, if that pig is struggling and it's small or it's sick or it has an ailment, the other pigs are just going to push it out of the way, and it probably won't be able to get the same opportunity at the feeder as all the other pigs would. And also, if that pig's sick, it's not good for the general population either, because then it can get all the other pigs sick in that pen. So it's a win-win both sides just to get those kind of pigs out. So as you can see here, we opened the pens up about a week ago. 5 pens running together, plenty of feeders for them to eat out of. And yeah, the pigs are absolutely loving it, and this group of pigs has been amazing up to this point. Have had no real bad health issues thus far. When they came in, they were a little bit on the smaller side, but I think we did a good enough job getting them started on the right foot, implementing the red snap-in feeders, doing a lot of mat feeding, doing everything we could to try to get them started on the right foot. And so far so good on these pigs. They look great, they're filling out nice, and they really haven't got sick all too much. We battled with getting them started in the beginning. We had to spot treat some, but honestly, they've come around nice, and they just keep on growing and keep getting bigger. So that's what you want, and they get a little bit more curious every day. They keep inching closer and closer to me. And eventually they won't be able to take their eyes off me because they'll think I'm a big old snack. But for right now, I like how they keep the distance a little bit. So, yeah. Morning, Pops.
Morning.
You ready to tackle the day? Did you get your coffee in this
I
morning?
did get my coffee in. I'm feeling fully caffeinated. So here we are. I'm short, so I have to stand on a gate. But in previous videos, there's been a lot of questions about this ceiling. People, when they see us walking through, they're like, "Why is your ceiling so crooked? Why is
Looks like shit.
Why is your ceiling droopy?"
Low quality.
Yeah. So here's the reason. This ceiling is PVC. It's all poly. So it's not a steel ceiling, it's a plastic ceiling. All the screws are stainless steel. The idea of it is it won't rust. And I've got it in every one of my barns. My oldest barn is 12 years old, holding up fabulously. The reason it droops is because the trusses in a hog building, they're on 4-foot centers, not 24-inch centers. So if you were putting this like in somewhere where you had 24-inch on-center trusses, it would be a lot straighter. But in here, it sags a little bit, and the other reason is because we use cellulose insulation, not fiberglass. And the reason for that is because if you use fiberglass in a hog building, we're moving so much air through the attic that at the outside, the fiberglass will roll around and it'll actually wick up out of the edge, and you won't have any insulation, or you'll have very little. So we use cellulose because it stays put, but it's a little heavier, so it makes it sag. And the other thing that makes a big difference is the colder it is, the tighter it is, because it does shrink and expand a little bit. So in the summer, it's a lot more wavy than it is in the winter. And so it's about 70 degrees in here right now, and this is kind of the happy medium. It's got a little wave in it, and it's just something that you have to put up with. It doesn't affect the quality of it. It's just the nature of the beast. But I'm not going to be replacing the ceilings in any of these barns for a long time, and that's worth it to me versus aluminum or steel ceilings. And one thing that PSI does that I don't know if everybody does it, but I've seen a lot of barns they don't. When they build these buildings, they frame the inlet openings down and they wrap them. This is wrapped in poly here. And so your cold air is not rolling right onto your ceiling. But with this poly, it doesn't really matter. But on a steel ceiling, this will be one of the first places that it rusts. Then the other place it'll rust is over on the knee brace of the building, where you get the biggest contrast, cold to hot. But we don't have any of that. And then a lot of people say aluminum. Well, aluminum works fine too, unless you get in contact with anything that's steel, because then it'll corrode. And a lot of people use mill-faced aluminum, and over time it'll corrode too. So for me, this was kind of a no-brainer. And like I said, my first barn's going on 12 years old. No problems with it. And I think that it's just going to be, it's basically a lifetime product. So that's why we use it.
Getting close, gang. Almost done. About 26 acres to go. So, gang, I think I told you yesterday that Iowa was about 5% planted. I don't remember what the number was, but I got a text yesterday that said Iowa is 14% planted as of May 9th. That was a little off, but typically by May 9th, we have 63% planted on average. The old timers probably wouldn't have got the planter out till May. Even think about planting corn or soybeans. Things have changed so much with new hybrids and how well they perform. Okay, so I'll give everyone a little tutorial here. Or just a little panorama view of what I get from the seed here. Tractors have come a long way. A lot more visibility, a lot more room in the cab. Cool. So the little row cleaners there, I don't know if you can see them. They're the things pushing the dirt out of the way in front of the rows. This guy here to control that. Tank pressure. The tank is right there. That black thing on the top. tank pressure is my overall pressure. And then I can run them things with down pressure or up pressure. I've been running about 50 pounds up pressure, just so I don't leave real big ridges. See back there behind the rose where it's making the dirt black. I'm trying to run some up pressure to keep from making big ridges and to keep from mucking up the tires, because like I said, your soil's pretty dry. This is the 2020. This is Gen 3 2020. So it's counting population. Tells me what row is running low, what row is running high. And it's got, I just installed this with the downforce system this year. So anyway, that's the system I just added. It controls the amount of up force and down force that you put on each row. But this thing also tells you, so this thing has a vacuum, which is that black thing in the middle there, underneath the yellow globe. We're running about 19 to 20 pounds of vacuum, so that holds the seeds to the discs. And then there are little ejectors that kick the seed off of the disc, let it fall down the tube and go on the ground. So it's telling me my average spacing. So each seed as it goes into the ground is supposed to be approximately 6.52 inches away from the one next to it. This is how many acres I've done in this field. This is how I control this downforce here. So I can add weight or subtract weight to what I want to be running for downforce. And then this tells the planter 32,000 how many seeds to plant per acre. So this is an iPad, and it is hard for me to see, and you will not be able to see it either. But it basically is an additional screen to this screen over here, and you can bring up other information. Right now it's running population. The brains of this whole unit here are now in a box that I've mounted down here. Up front here, this is my Green Star 4640. Basically all I'm doing with it is controlling my GPS. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 passes to go, maybe 4 now.
Want to hunt, or you want me to hunt?
I guess I'll start out, and if I can't see, then you'll have to take over. Here's a small. Let's take both of them actually. Here's a he's kind of a ruffian. A little rough-haired. Safe. Oh, except we left.
That was a little bit of a cluster.
Yeah. Why is he skinny?
No, I just said he is skinny.
This pig has a neurological disorder.
Yeah, so is that a result of strep?
Yep.
So if they get strep.
So strep is like inflammation in your brain. People get strep, pigs get strep. And he must have had a mild case of it and he didn't succumb to it, but it's messed up his equilibrium. He's kind of like Sawyer after a hard night on the weekend. This pig right here has got a bad leg. He just needs to be treated, but we'll just sort him out. It'll make it easy. I think he's just got a bad, like he's got a pulled muscle in his leg or something, because it's not broke. He's just gimped. Okay, so we got all our fallback pigs here. As you can see, these are the bottom 10% of the herd here. It's either these pigs are just, they got some birth defects, or they got some ailments, or they're sick. And a lot of these won't become full market value pigs. Some won't make it. That's just the reality of raising this many pigs. And 10% of them will not do as good as the rest, then 10% of them will outperform everybody else. So yeah, the best thing you can do is put them in a pen like this, because they're not going to get beat on. And any of them that are like limping, got sore joints, we'll treat them. We'll give them anti-inflammatory, and then the rest of them, you kind of hope for the best. They'll do, like I said, they'll do the best they can being in a pen like this, but that's just all part of raising pigs or raising any livestock. You just have some that whatever you do, they don't make it. So yeah, we also got this nipple bar down here. I don't know, just give them some extra water. They seem to really like the nipple bar, and I'll probably keep this in here as long as they don't knock it off. But when they start knocking it off, then I'll hang it up. But yeah, we got the wet dry feeder so they can mix their feed with the water, because they love doing that. Just got to do the best you can, and this is the best place they can be at, rather than keeping them in the general population. So all the rest of the pigs though look great. All the rest of the pens look great now that you got all the fallbacks out. So it's nice to have that done, and we're gonna move on and get some more stuff done.